Well, here's Brother Peter again with some excerpts I'm doing that will be on Tidbits from the Word, but they also will be in other places on the YouTube and on the internet somewhere. We're going to find something, some way to use some of these. But we're working through the New Testament right now. We're working through the life of Jesus and the life of some of the disciples, and we're just getting a footing. If you please, we're laying groundwork to pour some good solid cement on that won't crack up and won't break. If you have in your heart and in your mind and in your life what Brother Peter's been teaching in these last 8 ones that we've done, if you could get that, get it into your heart, into your life, into there, you'll have no problem, none. You'll have no problem following God. You'll be able to follow the Lord God if you believe what we've learned right here. You'll have no problem following God. God is the supreme being. He is the one that spoke this world into existence. He is the one that divided the night from the day. He is the one that made the rain come on the earth. Did you know that the first 1,556 years, 1,656 years, it did not rain? It was 1,656 years to the flood. It had never rained. The earth was watered by dew. And then God said, Noah, build this ark. And he's in land, several hundred miles, he's in land. And he's building something that human beings and all the elephants in the world couldn't have pulled it over there to the ocean. So, and he builds this ark on that dry land. But God does stuff that way. How does he baffle the devil? How does he baffle the devil? See, the devil couldn't see the spiritual side of the thing. All the devil could see is the foolish man building the ark. And everybody else thought he was foolish too. And those that helped him, I'm sure, got paid. And the only reason they helped him is they got paid. Because they wouldn't even get in the ark. They thought, we're doing this for this fool, but look, we're making money. I made $2 this week. Or I made 50 cents this week. Or I made whatever the pay scale was for that week. And all we did was took some logs up to this nut, and he put them in there and pitched them inside and out, and did all this and that, and he's building something that'd be seaworthy if there was any sea. But there ain't no sea around here. And he worked 120 years to do that. Ooh, I get so much in my mind when I think about the ark. And I think about the man that lived right up until the ark, 996 years, and then died. 969 years, excuse me, not 96, 69. And I got it turned around. And then died. His name was Methuselah. And when Methuselah was born and he was named Methuselah, his name meant, when he died, it's the end. It's the end. And he lived to the end, but then the flood came. So let's look at this. We got 3 annunciations in to Zechariah about the birth of John, the Messiah's forerunner. Luke 1:5 and Luke 1:25, excuse me. And the angel Gabriel, we see him again. Whenever it's the announcement of a birth, you're going to see Gabriel. He's God's chosen angel to know before the birth is who it's going to be and what kind of life he's going to have. He knows the story from the end to the beginning. God does. And he sends this angel Gabriel over there, says you're going to have a sign, and I'm going to tell you what to name it. Look at this. And the priest was burning incense on the golden altar in Jerusalem in the temple. Exodus 30:7 tells us about why he was doing it. And 2 Chronicles 29 tells us why he's burning that incense. No, this is the first spoken message from heaven in 400 years. 400 years God had been silent. And he speaks out like the radio station of the Old Testament. That was Gabriel. And he went on the air with Malachi. And Malachi tells the story. But now God resumed broadcasting radio, and the New Testament officially was on the air. The New Testament started. That's Wilmington's terminology. That's not Peter's terminology. I think that's smart. That's Wilmington. He's a sharp rascal. He's only been dead about a few hundred years. He put out his book and he didn't copyright it. He made it so you and I could preach it, and we can use it. We can learn by it. We can teach it. And the college I was telling you that you'll see me advertise often. It's called Titus Baptist Seminary, LaGrange, Georgia, and you can find it. And probably, if not, maybe the best teaching college you could possibly attend if you want to learn. There isn't any college that's any good if you don't want to learn. In the town I live in, we paint. Right up the street, we paint a college. And there's more deadheads in there than you can count. They're not there to learn, they're there to play. All right, let's get back in the book. Zechariah informed that his prayer had been heard, and the aged wife Elizabeth will bear a son, and this is 8 of 9 biblical births in which God himself intervened, and they are the birth of Isaac to Abraham and Sarah, the birth of Jacob to Esau and Isaac, the birth of Reuben to Jacob and Leah, the birth of Issachar to Jacob and Leah, the birth of Joseph to Jacob and Rachel, the birth of Samuel to Elkanah and Hannah, and the birth of Samson to Manoah and his wife in Judges 13, 1 and 2. These were all God-ordained births. They were people God said, I'm putting this guy down there, 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 I'm putting this guy down there. Now, long-term study. This is a little early to talk about this. But there is going to be a 1,000-year reign on this earth. After that, Jesus comes in the clouds and says, come up hither, and takes all the saints up. And we have a few years maybe around the table with all of those great ones that have gone on before us. And there is a crowd that's under the throne that will still be there 1,000 years, who are the resurrected martyrs. And there is a part of them over there saying, how long? How long? How long, God, before you judge this group? How long before you avenge our souls? And so there is a group that do that. But then there's another group that God's going to use on that earth to be witnesses and be workers with those souls that are there. There's going to be a great group come out of the Great Tribulation who are going to be saved. None of those who have heard the gospel prior to the tribulation will be saved. But there will be many that haven't heard the gospel will be saved. How you say that, Brother Peter? Well, there's going to be many born. There's going to be 144,000 Jewish boys marry up with a bunch of girls, and they're going to have a bunch of children. And in 1,000 years, you can completely fill this earth if you have everybody having babies every day. We'll say